This video is on the property of logarithms. I'll start out with this one. The log base b of m plus the log base b of n is equal to the log base b of m times n. So in other words, if you're trying to take the sum of two logs that have the same base, it's the same thing as if you just take the log of that base and the product of those two numbers. So I'll give you an example. It'll make a little more sense. So I'll take some easy numbers like log base 2 of 16 plus log base 2 of 8. Well, we know that 2 to some power is 16. That's what log is. So log 2 to the fourth power is 16. 2 to some power is 8. We know that's 3. 2 to the third power. And that equals the same thing as if we had just taken log base 2 of 8 times 16. And 16 times 8 is 128. And the log base 2 of 128 is 2 to the 7th power. So it equals the same thing, whether you take the sum of two logs or the log of the product. So that's one of the properties of logs. This second one is the difference. Instead of the sum of two logs, you take the difference of two logs, and that equals the log base b of the quotient, m divided by n. So again, I'll use the same example, log base 2 of 16 minus log base 2 of 8, and we see that that's 4 minus 3, which is 1. And that should be equal to the same thing as the log base 2 of the quotient, 16 divided by 8, which is 2. So 2 to some power equals 2. We know that that power is 1. So 4 minus 3 is 1. So the difference of these two logs is the same thing as the quotient of the single log. Okay, so it's sort of like a shorter way of doing logs. And the third and last property of log equation is if you're taking a log base b of some number to a power, you get the same result as if you just took that power and multiplied it to the log base b of m. So again, I'll do an example. I'll use log base 2 of 4 to the third power. 4 to the third power is 64. So what I'm really saying is log base 2 of 64. So 2 to some power equals 64, and that's 6. So I should get the same result as if I just take this power and multiply it times log base 2 of 4. So I'm just writing this, but instead of using this as an exponent, I'm multiplying it times the whole log. And that equals 3 times 2 to some power is 4, which is 2, and 3 times 2 is 6. So it works. So these are the three properties of logs. And I'll post this for you in the room, and we'll do some examples using these properties.